I was just wondering what your thoughts were on Christianity and the Christian worldview overall.
Are you talking about organized religion or just Christianity specifically?
I mean, yeah, just Christianity specifically, like the whole idea of Christ and how God created the earth and things like that. Take the Bible as a benchmark, maybe.
Well, I'm a secular humanist, so I don't want to spend too much time, I guess, I don't know, trying to debunk the Bible or anything like that. I think it's a moderately interesting story. I mean, I had to read the Bible as part of a college course, and it was so very boring. I mean, parts of it are amazing. Revelations is really, really entertaining, and that's where things kick it up to like 11. But the first, like, most of Genesis was about so-and-so begat so-and-so who begat, someone else.
Genealogies.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think that everyone should have the right to practice whatever religion they want, and I think that should be, I think there's a problem with a lot of people on the left, especially where they just shit all over religion. Maybe that's when you get into the edgelord atheist side of the internet, and I went through that phase. I'm a recovering ex-edgelord. No, I never was that, but yeah, I think it's just a story written by humans, and it's at the time was a method of, it was both a combination of some of our best attempts at understanding the universe around us, just like, alchemy gave way to chemistry, right? And I had hoped that religion would give way to philosophy, for example, but unfortunately that's not the case. But at the same time, I don't think that religion should have any kind of exemptions within society. They shouldn't have tax exemptions. They shouldn't have anything.
Verily I say unto you, I shall read to you.
Oh, 1 second.
Sound like the KJV. I was wondering when you said Christianity doesn't get you. You said you don't think religion gives head to philosophy.
No, I was saying that within, like, for example, how there's different evolutions in human thinking, right? Like I said, alchemy gave way to chemistry, astrology gave way to astronomy, things like that. And it seemed, at least from a historic point of view, that perhaps religion would evolve into something else, something like philosophy, right? Like metaphysics might be able to help us better understand the world around us. But unfortunately, it's still got quite a stronghold. I mean, there's no question that the amount of people who are devoutly religious is on the decline. But I mean, the Vatican still exists; it's still an independent country. So,
well, I just think that Christianity has been. I think if you look at some of the greatest philosophers and thinkers in history, you could even take someone like Isaac Newton, who considered himself to be a Christian. You could take someone like Thomas Aquinas. These people are still looked at today. Even look at people like Aristotle and Plato, who might not have been Christian, but they were at least theists. So I just think it's interesting that I think Christianity has set the groundwork for a lot of the philosophy, especially in the West. Would you disagree with that?
It's a little bit of the carrot before the horse, though, because at the end of the day, those are gentlemen who were byproducts of the time. So, I mean, at that age, it would have been quite unusual for every single one of them to either be an atheist or be a non-believer of any kind. So I think as time has gone on, and we've gone through different phases, and of course, going through the postmodernist phase and stuff like that, and we started getting a whole bunch of these kind of nihilist writers. I don't necessarily think that Christianity was necessary for them to believe what they believe or go down the roads or have the thoughts they did. I'm sure it could have played a large part in it. There's no way of me really ever measuring that, but I don't necessarily think that it was because of like Christianity that Michelangelo was capable of painting such beautiful things on the Sistine Chapel, right? I think he was commissioned to do so, and he was inspired by maybe what he thought was divine, but could he have painted something just as beautiful for Pornhub? Maybe. I mean, the only way to find out is if Pornhub ponies up the dough.
I feel like what makes those paintings especially unique and beautiful is that they represent these ideas and these, I guess you could say, some of these metaphysical principles, like the Genesis account of creation and things like that. I think that's what makes these paintings particularly beautiful. So I think to try to say that we can take credit from not give credit to Christian thought and Christian philosophy for that, I think is a little. Like, I don't think if Michelangelo did something for Pornhub that it would be as popular. Like, I actually don't think that. I think that's what makes it popular is not just the level of skill that goes into it, but also the theology and philosophy that undergirds it. So I don't know, I just think most of Western society is built on at least what we would consider theism. I mean, we could debate if it's Christianity or some other type of theism, or maybe like a generic deism, but I think it's absurd to say that we could have the culture and society we have today without an undergirding theistic philosophy.
Without an undergirding theistic philosophy. Well, first off, I think historically Michelangelo actually despised the church. So that would actually be contrary to what you're proposing here. Yeah, I mean, it's there's no way for either of us to know. But I mean, if you're going to give the church credit for all these great thinkers' ideas, I mean, are you also going to give the church credit for all the various forms of incredible, testicular torture that came under the Inquisition? You can't only take the good and be like, well, this is because of Christianity, and all the ball torture and the ball, ripping apart, that has nothing to do with our good graces.
Well, the thing is that the church and Christianity aren't the same. So, like, Michelangelo could have, I don't know particularly, but if Michelangelo, let's say Michelangelo hated the Roman Catholic Church, let's say he just hated it, he despised it, there's no doubt that he still held to a overall Christian worldview.
Mm-hmm. But again, that was kind of by virtue of the time he was alive in, right? Like, if Michelangelo was born today, and there could be a Michelangelo out there, I don't know, he may or may not work for Pornhub. I don't know whether or not he necessarily would have defaulted to Christianity if it wasn't the prevailing, like, everyone was a Christian in that era. Otherwise, they'd get your balls, right? It was one or the other.
I guess, but I mean, I also think when we talk about the things like the Inquisition, there was already a Christian, from what I understand, there was already a Christian milieu that was there. It was more the church sort of going tyrannical, and I'm not a Roman Catholic, even though my name says I'm the Pope.
So if I get what you're saying here is you're proposing that it was necessary for those great thinkers and painters and philosophers to come up with what they did because of a Christian worldview uniquely.
Well, I think so. Take something, and I'm not a big fan of America's founding, just to be clear, but let's take something like the Declaration of Independence, right? And I understand most of the founders were not Christian. A lot of them were deists or like nominal Christians. But take the concept of being made in the image of God, right? Like that idea that we are endowed by our Creator with certain rights because we have intrinsic value in virtue of what we reflect, which is God's, at least in the Christian system, it would be God's nature, right? That's a uniquely Christian idea. I mean, the idea that God breathed into Adam, like he breathed life into Adam, and that Adam had intrinsic value that reflected God, that goes back to Genesis 1:26. So I think, like, take that very basic idea. I don't think you could separate it from the historic continuity of the idea of the imago Dei, or the image of God in Christianity. So that'd be one example.
It does sound slightly perverted, though.
What do you mean?
Well, just the idea that, like, God is running around breathing onto clay and turning it into little effigies of himself.
Oh, so, yeah, when we say God, that we're made in the image of God, we don't mean that, like, it's not like if you were to take a portrait of God and then that's what a human is. Rather, it's just saying that we have, and I don't want to get too far into it, I guess I'll wrap it up, but the idea is that there's attributes, like God, we believe God is triune, so he's 3 in 1. And we believe that humans are 3 in 1. So we're body, soul, and spirit. So that would be one of the ideas where I see that. But I appreciate taking my question and listening.
Yeah, no worries.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Do you like cozy environments with other wholesome people? Well, then come join the Discord. It's got a whole bunch of stuff to help you with creative endeavors, such as stock footage, royalty-free music, and an amazing community of people looking to help each other out and uplift your content. Join the Discord now by going to weareserfs.com. That's weareserfs.com.
We would like to thank Miranda Marone. You are our monarch, and we thank you for our indentured servitude. We would like to thank our lords, Ricky Pilgrim, I'm Raft, Michaela Schmid, Tomospin, Ferrer Tajon. You are all the pillars of our organization. To our Knights of the Square Table, Paul Parafit, Daniel Kahn, Clement Chutskoth, Alan R., Josh Mickelson, and Dr. Zayas, Cooper Pilot, Andrea Lynn Epperly, Dylan Bythe, Terry, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. And to our merchants, thank you for taking mercy upon us.